is a 2022 American computer-animated adventure comedy film produced by DreamWorks Animation and distributed by Universal Pictures. The sequel to the spin-off film Puss in Boots, 2011, and the sixth installment in the Shrek franchise, the film was directed by Joel Crawford and co-directed by Manuel Mercado. Based on the character from Shrek 2, 2004, and inspired by the eponymous fairy tale, the film's screenplay was written by Paul Fisher and Tommy Swerdlow, with a story by Swerdlow and Tom Wheeler. The voice cast of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish includes Antonio Banderas and Salma Hayek Pinal reprising their respective roles as the titular character and Kitty Softpaws. And they are joined by Harvey Gillian, Florence Pugh, Olivia Colman, Ray Winstone, Samson Ko, John Mulaney, Wagner Moura, Davine Joy Randolph, and Anthony Mendez, who play the new characters introduced in the film. In the film, Puss in Boots teams up with Kitty and Perrito, Gillian, to find the mystical last wish for the wishing star to restore the first 8 of his 9 lives. Before Goldilocks and her 3 bears crime family, Pugh, Winstone, Coleman, and Ko, and Big Jack Horner, Mulaney, do. While attempting to avoid a mysterious hooded wolf, Moura, who is hunting down Puss. Plans for a sequel to Puss in Boots began in November 2012, when executive producer Guillermo del Toro shared plans to take the titular character on an adventure to a very exotic locale. Work on a sequel began in April 2014, according to Banderas. After being stuck in development hell, the project was revived in November 2018, with Illumination founder and CEO Chris Meledandri confirmed to be an executive producer. It was announced that the film would be helmed by Bob Persichetti, the head of story of the first film and one of the 3 directors of Sony Pictures Animation's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, 2018, in February 2019. Crawford was later announced as the new director in March 2021, along with Mercado. The story draws inspiration from spaghetti western films, with The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, 1966, being cited as a particular influence. As with DreamWorks' previous film The Bad Guys, 2022, the film has a stylized animation style inspired by Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. With new technology, the team was able to give the film a painterly style to resemble a fairy tale story, rather than utilizing the realistic visual style of previous installments in the Shrek franchise. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish grossed $185.5 million in the United States and Canada, and $299.1 million in other territories, for a worldwide total of $484.7 million. It is the 10th highest grossing film of 2022. Deadline Hollywood calculated the film's net profit as $120.2 million. Accounting for production budgets, marketing, talent participations, and other costs, box office grosses and home media revenues placed it 8th on their list of 2022's most valuable blockbusters. By March 2023, it ultimately became a sleeper hit. In the United States and Canada, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish was projected to gross $25 to $30 million from 4,099 theaters over its 5-day opening weekend. The film made $3.2 million on its first day and $2.9 million on its second, with The Hollywood Reporter noting that Winter Storm Elliot and the threat of a tripledemic surge in COVID-19 and flu cases could affect the box office in the subsequent days. It went on to debut to $12.4 million in its opening weekend, and an estimated total of $26.2 million over the 6 days, finishing second behind holdover Avatar: The Way of Water. Despite opening below projections, Universal's president of domestic distribution Jim Orr and box office analysts believed the film could make up ground in the coming weeks through word of mouth and schools being on holiday. In its second weekend, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish grew 35% from its debut weekend, grossing $16.8 million. Its third weekend, the film fell 19% with $13.5 million, which was the first non-holiday weekend in its run. The film made $14.5 million in its fourth weekend and $18.9 million over the four-day Martin Luther King Jr. weekend, Friday to Monday, while also crossing the $100 million mark at the United States and Canadian box office. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish was the 10th highest grossing film of 2022 in the United States and Canada, and completed its domestic theatrical run on April 20, 2023.